Welcome to the Officers Leadership Series Episode 7, titled Why Some Officers Never Become Captains. Every year, hundreds of competent officers complete their sea service. They pass the required examinations, they complete the mandatory training courses, they gain years of valuable shipboard experience, and many of them are technically excellent. Yet only small percentage eventually become captains. Why? Is it simply luck? Is it favoritism? Some people believe that's the reason. But after serving in different shipping companies and eventually become a master myself, I've realized that the difference is usually much deeper. The officers who reach command are rarely the smartest people on board. They are the ones who consistently demonstrate leadership long before they receive the promotions. Today, I'd like to share some reasons why some officers never becomes captain and what do the future captains do differently. We all agree that every captain must be technically competent. There's no debate about that. No one should be entrusted with a command without technical competence. Throughout my career, I've worked with several shipping companies. Although each company has its own procedures and culture, one expectations had always remained the same. Every chief officer is expected to understand navigation, cargo operations, stability, safety management, and shipboard regulations. These technical skills qualify an officer to be considered for a command, but they do not guarantee promotion. What separates from future captains with career chief officers is their ability to combine technical competence with leadership competence. Companies don't just ask, is this officer operates the ship? They also ask, is this officer can lead the entire group? I became a chief officer when I was 28 and remained in that position for 10 consecutive contracts before becoming a master. Looking back, one lesson stands out. The biggest mistake I made, and one that I have also observed in many experienced officers, is believing that experience alone is enough. The sea never stops changing. Technology evolves, regulations constantly updated, leadership challenges becomes more complex every year. The moment we believe there's nothing left to learn is the moment our growth begins to slow down. The best captains I've sailed with were not those who claimed to know everything. They were the ones who never stopped asking questions, listening, and learning. The future captains remain students all throughout their entire career. Earlier in my career as a second officer, I had this chief officer who openly expressed his desire to become a master. He was technically capable and had the experience required for promotion. However, there was one leadership habit that stood out. Whenever something went wrong, someone else was always responsible. If equipment failed, someone else was blamed. If the communications broke down, someone else was blamed. I even experienced being blamed for an incident involving an improperly secured monorail crane, despite the circumstances being far more complex. He even blamed the master, the chief engineer, and other departments whenever problems arose. As months passed, I realized something important. Leaders who constantly blame others gradually lose credibility and trust. People naturally trust leaders who take responsibility. Even today, many years later, he remains a chief officer. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but it reminded me that technical competence alone is not enough. Companies promote officers they trust, not the kind of officers who always find someone else to be blamed. Many officers knows how to operate the ship. Far more fewer knows how to lead people. As captains, we spend much more time managing people than managing equipment. One of the challenges at sea is leading with multicultural crew. Every nationality has its own communication style, culture, and expectations. A leadership style may work well with one crew, may not work with another. That is why leadership at sea cannot rely on technical knowledge alone. It requires patience, good communications, emotional intelligence, and empathy. The officers who eventually become captains understand that ships operated by people. If you cannot work with people today, the companies may hesitate to place you in command tomorrow. They lose emotional control. Stress is part of life at sea. Schedules change, port operations become hectic, equipment fails, and emergencies happen. During those moments, everyone watches the senior officer. People observes the senior officer's decisions and actions, and at the same time, they also observe your emotions. During my first command as master, I sailed with a chief officer who was much older than me, and he openly shared that he also hoped to become a master one day. From a technical standpoint, he was knowledgeable. However, in my own personal assessment, there is one leadership quality was holding him back. He struggled to control his emotions. Even minor setbacks could trigger frustrations. He frequently raised his voice and sometimes humiliated a crew in front of others. The crew became more afraid of creating mistakes than focused on learning. That experience reinforced an important lesson for me. Emotional intelligence is not a soft skill. It is a command skill. Future captains remain calm because calm leaders creates confident crews. One characteristics I admire with great captains are their willingness to teach. They never see knowledge as power to be protected. Instead, they see knowledge as something to be shared. Throughout my career, I had a privilege of sailing with captains of different nationalities. Filipino, Dutch, Greek, Romanian, Egyptian, Indian, and Myanmar. Each had different leadership style. Each approached command differently. Yet the captain I respected most all had one thing in common. They invested their time in developing their officers. They explained, they coached, and they encouraged questions because they understood that teaching today's officers creates tomorrow's captains. Great leaders don't just create a followers, they create a future leaders. One thing I have learned throughout my career is that the maritime industry is much smaller than many people think. Your reputation travels faster than you do. People may forget your technical skills, but they rarely forget how you treated them. Every word spoken by a senior officer carries influence. Words can teach, words can motivate, but words can also destroy confidence and discourage. The officers who earn long-term respect are those who carefully choose their words. They correct without humiliating. They encourage without flattering. They build people instead of breaking them. Professional relationship matters because trust is built one conversations at a time. Future captains don't wait for instructions. They anticipate the problems and had already prepared solutions. Senior officers notice initiative because it shows readiness for command. Leadership begins before promotion. Captains think differently. Captains make decisions that affect the lives, the cargo, the environment, the properties, the schedules, and the company's reputations. That requires thinking beyond today's task. The command mindset is about responsibility, not authority. Based on my own experience, my research, and years of observing officers from different companies and nationalities, I have come to one conclusion. Companies do not simply promote the most experienced officers, nor do they promote the officers with the loudest voice. They promote the officers they believe can lead the entire ship safely. Technical competence may get you shortlisted, but leadership will determine whether you are selected. At the end of the day, the companies are not only choosing someone to command the vessel, they are choosing someone who represents their values, protect their people, and make sound decisions when no one else is there to help. If becoming a captain is one of your dreams, do not wait until you wear the 4 stripes before you start leading. Leadership begins today. Lead as a cadet by being eager to learn. Lead as a 3rd officer by setting the right example. Every conversations, every decisions, every challenges, and every mistakes you learn from is preparing you for a command. And always remember this. People do not become captains on the day they receive their promotions. They become captains through the daily habits they build every single day. Thank you so much for watching. If this episode had helped you to grow as a leader, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. And take these lessons with you on your next voyage, because the officers who prepare for today will confidently lead tomorrow.